Good morning, my name is Jeanette. I'm your Delphi associate. We're going to tell you today about the Mini Cutter's Mate, just about the cutest thing that's ever come out, I think. The Cutter's Mate is a device that was originally developed by an ingenious fellow who had a friend with motion issues. She couldn't hold the cutter, she couldn't work standing up, so he thought about it, put his clever brain to work, and he came up with the Cutter's Mate. Cutter's Mate is can cut any shape. It's perfectly equipped to do curves and straight lines. It is intended to be used, if you would like to, sitting down. The cutter itself comes with it. It has a carbide wheel so that it's going to be the type of cutter that you want to use no matter what kind of glass you have. You can use it on a grid or off a grid. Without the grid, it sets right on your table. If you're using a grid, which I'm going to do today, it'll work on a 12 by 12 grid. There's an original Cutter's Mate, which is considerably larger, and some of us just don't have that big of a workspace. If you're going to use it with the grid, you're going to use these little devices here, which will fit right inside of the bottom of the bar that you use to hold the cutter. And I'm going to set them in the grid first, like that. And then I'm just going to take my Cutter's Mate and I'm going to slide it down over that. It has these two little things that slide here. These are what's going to hold the Cutter's Mate to the bar. I'm going to take this little curved element here. It's going to snap right over that. Have it in the right place. And then to make sure it's there permanently, I'm going to using just my hands, I'm not going to use a tool, I'm just going to tighten that up until it's nice and snug. You don't want to over tighten it, you'll break it. Now I have my Cutter's Mate. This handle is weighted, so you actually don't have to put any pressure on it while you're using it. I can take my piece of glass, which just as if I were cutting it by hand, I've traced the shape I want to cut, set it down here. I'm going to hold it with my fingers. You can also use these little rubber buttons which come with it. You can drop one of those right in that grid, and that button sticks up just a little bit above the grid, and it keeps that from sliding. So I'm going to take my cutter, I'm going to turn it till the screw head faces away from me, just as if I were using a regular cutter. I want to start at the edge of the glass. I don't have to push, I'm just going to hold it and direct it. I'm directing it around that curve. Nice and smooth, and right off the glass. Using my handy dandy running pliers, just as if I just cut that with my cutter. And it breaks off. Repeat that process just the same way you do when you're using your cutter. Starting from the edge, I'm going to align with that mark, make sure my screw head is facing away from me, and I'm just going to follow that line right off the edge. Make sure I'm holding my running pliers the right way. And snap. The Cutter's Mate can also be used to make straight lines. I'm going to add this rule. Tighten that in there so it stays in place. Using this straight edge, which again has these little pegs, you're just going to set them into the grid. That's on there, and I would slide it right in here. I would use a holder to keep the rule in place. Slide the glass in, running my cutting head right along the scoring edge, just like I would if I were using a cutter, regular cutter. I score my glass, and I have a straight edge. Again, I don't have to grip, I don't have to hold it, I don't even have to put any weight upon it. I'm just going to direct it through its motions. I have a perfect cut. Thank you.